Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and you're watching 360 Comics. Earlier this week, I got another call from the former owner of a pawn shop who is currently liquidating all of the stuff that he put into storage when he closed up doors on his business. I bought a couple of lots from him already, some really great stuff, and this lot was definitely no exception. Stay tuned to see what I got. As of right now, we're only about 50 subscribers away from our goal of 2,000, at which point we're giving away this book right here, Secret Wars #1. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up for a like, and leave a comment down below. That gives you one entry, and you can check out all of our other videos from the months of May, June, and July for additional entries. As mentioned, I've bought a couple of lots of comics from this guy before, and as the story goes, they were actually all part of one big collection that came into his pawn shop a number of years ago. He put them into storage and never ended up selling any of it before his store closed down, and at this point, he is just liquidating all of his back stock. So he's been bringing me a chunk at a time, about 100 or so books at a time, and I think he's doing that because he's trying to get the most out of it, which I'm honestly fine with. Usually I would want to take everything at once, but his prices are fair, so I'm not going to push him to do that if he'd like to chunk it off at a couple at a time. In total, he said there's about 1,000 books, and so far I estimate that I've probably bought 600 or 700 books from him, so we are nearing the end if his estimation was correct. Check out some of my older videos, and I'll put the links down below. There were some Silver Age Fantastic Four, Thor, and Avengers books, and some really awesome early Bronze Age to Copper Age Amazing Spider-Man stuff. Yeah, check out those videos. Hopefully we're going to get some really good stuff. The last two bundles I got from this guy were Thor and Iron Man, and they were like more bronze copper stuff, so it wasn't a lot of big books. I didn't even do videos for those two, but we've got some better stuff this time. Let's get into it. Starting off with this book right here, Thor #300, milestone issue, and a phenomenal cover, in my opinion, with the characters in the background. We got Thor front and center, throwing the hammer right at you, and the big 300 there. Love this cover. Other than that, I don't think there's any key significance, but that milestone issue and a great cover is definitely enough to make it a sought-after book. Then we've got the very next issue, Thor 301, first appearance of Ta-Lo, and we've heard of this God realm already in the MCU in Shang-Chi. I believe it's where his mother was from. We'll probably hear about it again or see it at some point in the MCU. But yeah, just a great book right here from the Bronze Age Thor run. The only other Thor book that really was a significant key right here, and this book was like a dollar bin book or a lower value book for a very long time until recently. This is Thor #319, and it's the first appearance of the Zaniac, and the only reason that this book has come to prominence is the Zaniac appeared on a poster. I believe it was in Miss Marvel, or was it in Multiverse of Madness? Something that's come out recently had a poster with Zaniac on it, and a lot of people are speculating Zaniac might be appearing in Season 2 of Loki. Whether that was just an Easter egg nod to this obscure character, or it's actually a hint at something that's to come. Pretty cool to find this key. It's still very affordable. It's spiked up a little bit in price, but you can pick this thing up for like $10 or less. This one is really high grade though, so happy to have that. There was some random stuff in here. All this stuff that I bought from this guy so far has been like at the very latest Copper Age, and most of it's been bronze and some silver as well. There were randomly 4 copies of this book right here. If you don't know this, have you been hiding under a rock? We've got Superman 75, The Death of Superman, the polybagged version that has all the cool things in it. This is one of the most purchased and printed books of all time. People bought high quantities of these thinking that they were going to get rich in the 90s. People had long boxes full, short boxes full, all that stuff. And while the value has gone up over time, certainly from the $1.50 price tag or whatever was on it, it did not make anyone retire early. It did not send the kids to college or anything like that, unfortunately, just because everyone has them. And like I said, there were 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool stuff. This book sells for like $15, in the poly bag and high grade ones. But again, it's not the, hundreds or $1,000 books that people thought it was going to be at that time. So yeah, they're readily available, they're affordable, but they're certainly a good collector's item. Enough of that. On to the Daredevil, and the rest of the stuff I'm showing in this video is Daredevil. It was the collection. This group was about half Daredevil, and the majority of the good stuff was Daredevil, which I love. If you watch my channel, you probably know I'm a Daredevil fan. The earliest issue dating back all the way to the mid-1960s, we have issue number 18 here, the first appearance of the Gladiator. This is right after the Amazing Spider-Man crossover run. And yeah, first appearance, Silver Age, even though it's not a major character, definitely happy about that. This one is probably better than my personal collection copy, so this one is likely going to stay with me, and I'll sell off the lower grade one that I have. I'm big on upgrading things for my personal collection. I mention in probably almost every video that I buy a collection in. Same thing with this one. This is going to be an upgrade to the personal collection. Daredevil number 41. This is the death of Mike Murdock, Matt Murdock's twin, all that stuff. Yeah, definitely a great cover. Definitely a significant book from the Silver Age, and a personal copy upgrade. Same thing with this one. This is definitely higher grade than the one I have. Daredevil number 48. This is a little bit of a controversial issue because the marquee in the background down here, it says ass pain. I'm not sure why that was written in there and how that was not caught by editors, but yeah, it's silly. It's a funny thing, and it makes this book a little bit significant. With a great Stiltman cover as well. Then we've got the very next issue, number 49, the first appearance of Star Saxon, and again, an upgrade to my personal collection copy. These are all like higher side of mid-grade, probably the Gladiator book's a little lower, maybe like a 5.5, but the rest of these are all like 6.5, 7.0, 7.5, so really great Silver Age stuff. Moving on to the Bronze Age with Daredevil, though, this is a great one, and this is really, really nice. This is Daredevil number 115. No key significance about the storyline or anything in here, but there is an advertisement for Hulk 181. It does not predate Hulk 181, though. What comic book historians do believe, I've read online, that this book actually came out either the week that 181 came out or like the week after, and was just an advertisement for this new character, Wolverine, who was giving his full debut in Hulk 181. So it does not predate. It's not a preview that came before, but is an advertisement for that first appearance of Wolverine, and it's a great advertisement as well, featuring Wolverine really prominently. A lot of people collect these other Wolverine keys because the 181 and even the 180 and the 182 and Giant Size X-Men 1, all of those books have become really, really expensive. This is a great one that's a lot more affordable. Moving on now to the Frank Miller Daredevil run, the quintessential Daredevil run. If you're ever going to try to get someone into Daredevil, don't send them the Stan Lee stuff. Like some of it's good, but let's be real. It is all about the Miller run, starting with this issue right here, number 158, the first time Frank Miller did art on Daredevil. He was not writing at this point. He did do the art, and great artistic depiction of Daredevil, and then you'll see as we go through this run, he took over the writing as well. This is the second Frank Miller art, featuring Bullseye without his costume on the front. I believe this was actually maybe the first time we saw Bullseye without a costume. And I did notice something, and this is strange because no other books in this collection have had this distinction, but this is a Pence copy from Europe. They were printed at the same time. They weren't reprints or anything like that, but they were just printed with the Pence symbol, the P up there in the corner. If you can't see, right next to the 12 pence instead of 12 cents. Actually, it would have been 25 cents at this point, I believe, or 40 cents, way beyond. Yeah, so this is one of those reprints not reprints, but rather foreign printings. Pretty cool. I probably won't hold on to this myself because I don't generally collect foreign books. Moving on, we've got Daredevil number 160, just a classic bullseye cover done by Frank Miller. Also has Black Widow on it, who definitely had a long-time team-up relationship with Daredevil. And then we've got number 167, the first appearance of the Mauler. Really great cover. And one of the cool things about this book is if you look, it has in the back, it has like a depiction of all the little tools and weapons that Daredevil utilizes. This next one's the big one. You saw it in the beginning. We're going to keep going on from there because there was more to this run, but I wanted to keep it in order. I didn't want to save this one for the end. We've got Daredevil number 168. The first appearance of Elektra. When you think Daredevil, you think three characters adjacent to Daredevil. You think Elektra, Bullseye, and Kingpin, and it's really those three or nothing else. This Frank Miller run obviously has all three of them at points, and Elektra being introduced, Kingpin's first appearance and Bullseye's first appearance were not in the Miller run, but this book right here is, and that is why it's the most quintessential Daredevil book from this run. This is really nice too. I think it is probably a 9.0, maybe a 9.2. So this thing is definitely getting cleaned, pressed, and graded. At that grade, it's probably a minimum $500 book, and we'll talk about the price that I paid for everything at the end. I'm going to scooch these down because I don't want them getting falling over like often happens on my videos. But we've got number 169 next, the second appearance of Elektra. Great Bullseye cover. Number 170, this is the first time that Kingpin ever appears in Daredevil. I don't believe they meet each other yet in this one. I don't remember off the top of my head, but he does appear. Maybe they do meet each other. It certainly looks like they do on the front, but the very next issue is number 171, the first battle between the two. Certainly, if the previous issue isn't their first meeting, this would be. I gotta reread these and remember exactly where they first meet face to face, but like I said, quintessential Daredevil-related character, coming back to the MCU for the Daredevil show, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and these are the first two books where these characters have a meetup. Then we've got number 174, first appearance of the Hand, the ancient crime organization that's utilized throughout Daredevil and other facets of the Marvel Universe. Then we've got number 176, the first appearance of Stick, the mentor of both Daredevil and Elektra. And Daredevil number 178, the first meeting of Daredevil with Power Man and Iron Fist, who came together on the team The Defenders on Netflix. Will we see that in the future of the MCU? Maybe. Who knows? Either way, great book. This one here, this one's nice too. High grade and a newsstand. Daredevil 181, Death of Elektra. Very few deaths in comics really resonate and hold value. We talked about the Death of Superman book earlier. Whatever. Other than a couple certain ones, this is certainly one of the ones that is a more significant death. Death of Elektra, and great cover. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's a Frank Miller book and it has a phenomenal cover. So definitely a good one to pick up. Then we got Daredevil number 183, first meeting of Daredevil and the Punisher. Obviously, this was something else we saw on Netflix and something it looks like we're going to see in the future of the MCU. I am beyond excited because I love these two characters. I love the two actors that portrayed them on Netflix. Very excited to have that back. And then we've got number 184, the very next issue, the first team up. Because those two, they had some brawls and stuff like that, but they've also teamed up plenty of times. Punisher being more of an anti-hero, Daredevil being more of a benevolent hero, we'll call it. But them teaming up for the greater good on certain occasions. Then we've got number 188. This is just straight up a classic cover featuring Black Widow with this web coming out. One of the best covers in this run, if not the best cover. Maybe the Elektra, Death of Elektra cover I'd probably like more than this, but certainly a close second. We've got number 189, The Death of Stick. And last but not least, number 190, The Resurrection of Elektra. And like I said before, most characters that die come back, and that kind of not negates their death, but makes it less important. Even though Elektra died and only came back 9 issues later, it still is significant death in the Marvel Universe. So, hey, it's a good book to pick up. Like I said, this is the big one here, guys. Graded, like I said, probably has a minimum value of about $500 if it's in that 9.0 range. If it's an 8.5, that's still about $400. And if it somehow gets that 9.4 or something like that, we're creeping towards the $1,000 mark at that point. Not quite all the way up there. 9.6s are currently selling for $1,000, which is down quite a bit. Quite a bit from their highs during the comic boom. Understandable, huge spike. You're gonna see some regression in the price, but yeah, 9.8's still holding strong at like $3,000+. So anyway, this was the big book. I said it probably has a value for $500, maybe even a little bit more for this whole lot, including a bunch of filler issues that you guys didn't see, a couple Silver Age filler issues, and some other Daredevil stuff from the Bronze Age, and a bunch of Thor stuff, and there were even some Iron Man books in here. All that stuff together, like I said, total about 100 books, maybe a little bit more. I paid $400 for. So $4 a book he was asking for this lot. He doesn't really go by specific keys. He's like, calculates it by the numbers. He said, I want $400 for this. Knowing that this was in here, I was like, all right, worst comes to worst. If I just sell this book and it's as nice as I think it is, we're probably looking at a break even, but there's plenty of other value in here. He wasn't really budging on the price. I did try to get it down a little bit, but yeah, he was hard and firm on the 400 there. So yeah, we'll have to see if this guy comes back with some more stuff. The Spider-Man stuff I'm really waiting for, because I have almost all the way up to 300 from this guy, meaning that there could be a 300 coming soon, and I have all the way down to 103. So prior to that is, the drug issues and Morbius. So no matter which way we go, if he has more Spider-Man, we're looking good. I've bought almost every Spider-Man book from him, from 103 to I think it's like 285 it stops. The ones missing from there were first Punisher and first Hobgoblin, unfortunately. Those he never had. He said the original owner kept those, but nonetheless, still a ton of keys in there, and I got them for a great price. So anyway, I think I did well on this. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And hopefully I'll have another one of these hauls from this specific seller in the near future. And hopefully it's the Spider-Man stuff that I've been holding out for, because he says he still has more. We'll have to wait and see. Very happy about this. This is an upgrade to the personal collection, I believe. I have another raw one that's high grade, and I think I thought it was like an 8.0, 8.5. So I think this one is a little bit better. I have to look at them next to each other, do a full examination, and see. Nonetheless, they're probably both going to get slabbed up, because I'll probably get them graded in order to sell them anyway, whichever one I sell versus keep. But with Daredevil coming to the MCU and the possibility of them recasting Elektra, definitely a good book to have right now. And I have a lower grade copy as well. I think it's like a 7. So 3 copies of this book. Happy about that. They will be up for grabs at some point, so look out for that if you're interested. And please give this video a like and a comment on the way out. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.